what does it mean to speak a language? There's a lot of confusion around this, and I have a very different opinion than most people, or I think the prevailing opinion, so I wanted to share exactly what that was. So when most people talk about speaking a language, they mean like a native speaker. I speak such and such a language usually means that people want it to mean that, oh, you have perfect grammar, you speak with normal speed like other people who are native speakers, you understand all the cultural nuances, you speak the language if and only if you meet all of those criteria. It's very different among language learners who have more of an idea where we would say something to the effect of, hey, if I can hold a conversation in a language, then I would say I can speak it, even if my grammar's not very good. My opinion is actually that the bar is quite a bit lower. And the reason I have the bar quite a bit lower is that it depends completely on what you need and what you mean by speak. So for example, somebody asked me the other day, told me I need to speak French. I need to learn to speak French as fast as humanly possible. And I said, okay, what do you mean? I always answer that with, what do you mean? And because of course it followed up with, how do I do that? Can you tell me how to do that? You've learned so many languages. And I always answer that with a question. I said, what do you mean by speak? What do you need to be able to do? Do you need to be able to hold a debate with somebody about global warming? Do you need to be able to talk to, are you going to be working professionally in the language? And she said, well, no, I am going to live with a host family. I'm going to go there in about 9 months, and I'm going to stay there for about a year, and I want to be able to talk to my host family. Well, that level of speak is a whole lot different than what she was thinking she needed, because to be able to communicate with a host family, you need some basic language skills, and you probably would do really well with some intermediate skills, but you certainly don't need to be an advanced speaker, let alone a native or near native speaker, to have that kind of conversation. So we continued on with that conversation, and I shared with her kind of what that meant and what that looked like to me. So my belief is actually that speaking a language means that you can utter at least one word in that language in such a way that it is meaningful to other people, meaning you can pronounce it well enough that other people understand it. For example, when I was visiting friends in the Philippines, they taught me two phrases, two words. The first was mabuhay, which is good morning, and magandang umaga, which is thank you. So I used those two word phrases 50 times a day because I noticed that when I used them and people recognized them, they smiled at me and they connected with me and they treated me like a human being instead of like a tourist who was kind of weird and different from me. Whereas when I knew even one or two words in their language, they connected with me on a human, on a heart-to-heart level where I could see that they saw me in a way that they never would have seen me had I not learned that one or two words in their language. So that to me is what it means to speak a language. Now I don't say I speak Tagalog or anything like that. I say I can speak two words in Tagalog, and I have seen that that makes a difference in how people treat me and how people experience me coming into their lives, walking across them on the street. And that's my definition of what it means to speak a language. If you would like to see more videos like this, subscribe below.